the ladies in the room. And I say that even if you don't have children, I think of the people that you interact with and engage and take under your wing and all of that kind of things. So there's some, yeah, I think there's a lot of spaces to be a mom to people, even if it's not biological. So thank you for loving each other. That's kind of it. So we have lots of stuff going on here. So first of all, Open Door is going to be canceled for this week. The men and women's group are happening. So women's group will happen here at 7 o'clock, and the ladies are going to meet here. The men are also going to meet here at 6 o'clock. Yes, women's group is at 6 o'clock, sorry. Open Doors at 7, which is not going to happen. 6 o'clock, women will meet here for their Bible study. The men are also going to meet here, and they're going to work on fixing the tombstones and kind of straightening those up a little bit. The cemetery is kind of our space now that we're kind of taking over the building, so to speak. So the men are going to kind of get together and do that during their men's group. So that's going to also happen at 6 o'clock here. Saturday, are you doing service on Saturday?
Probably not, because I'm having surgery on Thursday. I'm going to send a note out to the kids.
Okay, so probably no youth this week, but look for an email from Randy on that for the youth group. Saturday evening is going to be Robert May and his wife Martha are going to be performing. So Chad sent out the flyer. So please take a look at that, send that to as many people as you can, invite them to come. If you want to bring any food or snacks kind of thing to have just as like a fellowship time, that would be great. The doors are going to open at 6:15, so if you can come early, just kind of be here to welcome people, help in any way that you can, that would be awesome. And if you need that flyer, couldn't open it or anything like that, let Chad know, we can get it to a different way. And I think that's it. There's too many things on my list here. Yep, that's it. So let us know if you have any questions on that. Sorry, you're good.
Good to go, ladies.
You know who never takes off the cape? She's got strength, speed, dexterity, and some kind of sixth sense when the house has been quiet for a little too long.
May I have those, please?
I'm sorry, Mommy.
She's not afraid of heights. She's afraid of what happens next. Who needs a snooze button when she's got a mission that starts before sunrise? She's more than a superhero. She's a gift from God. And she knows all her strength comes from above.
Dear God, thank you for giving me a mom who loves you to the moon and back.
Because behind every superhero story is a mom who never asked to be a hero. She just became one.
Mom, I love you.
I love you too, sweetie. Please stand, let's worship.
In my own strength, but it was sinking sand. So I put my What makes your mom happy?
Flowers. When I listen, when I be good or something. And hug. I don't know. I'm too tight.
What makes your mom sad?
When I don't listen. Or like when we get hurt.
What's something that your mom does every day?
Read the Bible. Cleans the house. And I think work. Kisses me.
What's something your mom always says to you?
I love you and brush my teeth. Go clean the room. Behave. Don't let the dog upstairs. Do not bother mom while she's sleeping.
How old is your mom?
I think 5. 12. That's a very, very tricky question. I know she's having something. 70.
What's your mom's favorite thing to do?
Play with me. Sit in that chair. Date night. Shopping. Go shopping. Used to shopping every day. She always wants to go shopping. She and I get tired. Then that's kind of boring.
Where's your mom's favorite place to go?
Chinese restaurant. An animal shelter. I think it's to the mall. Go to the restroom.
How are you and your mom the same?
Our hair. Our eyes. We have the same phones. We're really flexible. We both have long tongues, but my sister and my dad don't.
How are you and your mom different?
Our eyes are different because I'm brown and she's tan. Mom has curly hair and I have straight hair. I do have better abs.
What's your favorite thing about your mom?
That she doesn't like to be away from us. When she gets down on the floor and plays with me. She's a really good teacher. I like her face. Her smile. When she lets me put on her makeup. That I can cuddle with her at night. She is really special. She's really, 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 really nice.
How do you know that your mom loves you?
She prays and she kisses me and she says I love you. So she's in my family. How she takes care of us by making breakfast, do my laundry. That she helps me takes me to all the things I do after school. She plays games with me. Play soccer with me. Play bubbles when that's in her lap. We watch movies. We get our nails painted. Take a scrapbook. Fish outside cookouts and bonfires. She spends time with us and not all by herself. She's patient with us. She does everything with me. Because she says it every day. She says me every night. All kinds of stuff. I just know that she loves me because she says, I'll always love you. She's awesome. She loves me no matter what. Like God. I love you, Mommy. Happy Mother's Day.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
All right, let's pray. Dear God, amen.
Amen.
All right. First of all, did anybody have a birthday yesterday? Happy birthday. It's a big one. I think she's 20. Nice. Pretty close, right? Yeah. All right, nice. It's also Seth's birthday. He's not here today. Maybe he's celebrating his birthday for the weekend. So
On a lawnmower.
on a lawnmower.
He turned 65. It was a big one for him.
Oh, nice, nice. So happy birthday to everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Today is the celebration of the lioness. You see, we moved away from our first, and I think that that's best. So first thing you do when we start to talk about the lionesses in our lives and the mothers and everything, we recognize and we acknowledge that some of us have a very, very complicated relationship with this day. And if that's you, we hold that carefully, we hold that respectfully, and we hurt with you. We feel that complexity. While others of us are so deeply grateful for the mothers that we had or have, And we also hold that very carefully, very respectfully, and we hold that together too. But, as Angel said, like the Bull Elephant Day, our mothers are the ones that gave us our lives, but our mothers are also the ones that raise us, that nurture us, that encourage us, that show us class, grace, generosity, and a bottomless well of talent, skill, character, and love. And that extends much more than the biological mother relationship. That extends. You've probably noticed that I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the women, because I know how many women have built into my life. So, with that in mind, I'd like to read a passage from the Bible. And I'm going to paraphrase it just a little bit. It's from Proverbs. And I'm going to paraphrase it just a little bit. Who can find a virtuous and capable wife, is what it says, but who can find a virtuous and capable mother or woman? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She finds wool and flax and busily spins it. She's like a merchant ship bringing her food from afar. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her household and plan the day's work for her servant girls. She goes to inspect a field and buys it. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She's energetic, strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. Her hands are busy spinning thread, her fingers twisting fiber. She extends a helping hand to the poor and opens her arms to the needy. She has no fear of winter for her household, for everyone has warm clothes. She makes her own bedspreads. She dresses in fine linen and purple gowns. Her husband's well known at the city gates where he sits with the other civic leaders. She makes belted linen garments and sashes to sell to the merchants. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. She carefully watches everything in her household and suffers nothing from laziness. Her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty doesn't last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. Yay is right. You know, the more that I know you all, the more I see how true this passage is. When I read that, it's a picture of a woman, a mother, a wife who does everything. Everything, right? Think about all of the things that woman does. She's making the garments. She's going to the town square. She's bringing the food. She's making everything. She's making sure everybody has warm clothes. She's making sure everybody has everything and everybody feels exactly the way that they're supposed to. Right? She makes garments, watches over the household, speaks with wisdom. She is clothed with strength and dignity. And this sounds impossible to be all of a Proverbs 31 woman. Yet, I have been so blessed as to have lived my entire life in the homes of 2 Proverbs 31 women. And, let's be fair, it's a third one too, because I had a sister who is outstanding. Right? Jesus asks for unconditional love. And let me just tell you, when I started to get into faith and when I started to fall in love with Jesus, there were so many things that were so backwards. Like if you look at that, those things aren't natural for us because we learn all kinds of different ways. However, unconditional love is something I never had any kind of trouble with because of my mother. Because of my mother. My mother built into me and took an insecure kid who was never enough and made absolutely sure that he knew that he was the apple of her eye. And was always loved and always had a place to land. And, looking around, I know that today I have so many more than those 2 and 3 women who have cared for me, who have taught me what it means to love and follow God. They and you are why I am the way that I am. That you are why we are the way that we are. And we are so, so grateful. Today, we celebrate the lionesses, all of the lionesses in our midst. Amen. You know, I could just go forever. I could tell you stories and stories and stories, but I'm not gonna. I'm not going to, because it would make us all uncomfortable on my mind, most of all. Generosity and selflessness is an interesting thing. What I learned from my mother, my mother showed me how to love like Jesus, how to live like a Jesus follower without ever saying the name Jesus. Everything that you like about me comes from my mother. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Let's get into Ecclesiastes, okay, before I get too mushy. Too late, right? Okay. Ecclesiastes. If you turn to Proverbs 31, that's where the passage was. It is one page from there. Okay. We are going to start in verse 2. The best place to start when we start any kind of study about Ecclesiastes is easy. Verse 2. Everything is meaningless, says the teacher. Completely meaningless. And it's used about 30 times in this letter, in this book. It's about 30 times, and it's also translated as vanity of vanities. Now, before we go one step further, I want us all to remember, and I'm probably going to remind us of this several times during the next several years of our lives as we study this. The lens to read this book going forward is that Solomon is adopting a character. And this character is one who thinks all is meaningless. He thinks and lives as if everything is vanity, and he spends the whole book exposing this perspective as inadequate. Spends the whole thing giving the perspective as wrong. That's what Ecclesiastes is. Okay? So remember that as we go. So when we talk about meaningless, lots of people then and now share this perspective. The more that I think about Ecclesiastes, the more I see how related it is to our modern life, to our current situation and the way that we see everything around us and the way that we interact with our lives and things like that. Tennessee Williams, who is a playwright, says, "We all live in a house on fire. No fire department to call, no way out, just the upstairs window to look out of while the fire burns the house down with us trapped, locked in it." Right? Anybody feel like that? How about George Orwell, who is an author? Most people get a fair amount of fun out of their lives, but on balance, life is suffering, and only the very young or the very foolish imagine otherwise. Anybody ever think that? And another playwright named Alan Bennett says, "Life's rather like a can of sardines. We're all of us looking for the key." My old pastor used to say that her grandmother used to say, "Life's a pickle sandwich and then you die." Same kind of thing. That's kind of how you see this kind of pessimism, which we are so very sophisticated, so we call it realism, right? And we see it everywhere. Right? You see it in the art, you see it in the TV, you see it in the discourse that we have. Everything's awful. Everything's worse now than it ever was. All of that stuff. You see this happening all around us. It's a defeatist perspective. It's a dark, it's a hopeless space. It is meaningless. Right? We can often fall into that and think about that. Now, meaningless The word meaningless is habel.
About.
Habel. Okay. That's not exactly meaningless in the way that we're thinking about it. It's more like empty. It's more like unreliable. It's more like futile, transitory, unsatisfactory, or vapor. Think of it like that. It's there. It's real. Watch this. I'm going to hose you down. You'll feel it. You'll feel it. It's very real for a second. It's wet, and then it dries. It disappears. It dissipates. It's temporary. That's probably the best translation for Solomon's meaningless. Vapor. The way that we often see things all around us is through the things that don't last. Right? Think about it like fleeting. These things are coming. Now, interesting part is this word is also used throughout the Bible to describe idolatry. Makes sense, right? It's we put our trust in these things that don't ever satisfy. They are unsatisfactory. They are leaving. They are like, let's just say you like the Cowboys when you're 5 years old, the Dallas Cowboys, because they're great. They're America's team. And you think that you can trust them because they're great. You can't. You can't trust them. And that's what you learn. Because we put our trust into these things that are moving. Once, we were driving to see a person near where Angel grew up. And we were going to see an accountant. And the directions that we had were, go to the road and make a left at the big tree. There's a big tree, and that's where you're going to turn left. Except for what? Yeah, there's no tree anymore. Right? It's possible to try and use the temporary things as the roots. Right? It's possible to use as these things that move, they are vapor, as static, as immovable, as forever. Right? But then, what do we do when the tree gets cut down? Now what? That's Solomon's point. Are we lost? When the tree gets cut down, are we lost then? Right? Where do we go? Where do we go? This is exactly the tension in Solomon. He has directions to turn at the big tree, and there's no tree. Now what? Now what? That's Ecclesiastes. Verse 3 says, what do people get for all their hard work under the sun? And when he says things like that, the word is profit, gain or profit, which you may remember from someone else, someone very significant. It might be the red letters in your Bible. In Mark, that says, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world? And now let's just insert some of the words from Ecclesiastes. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world for all their labors under the sun and lose their soul? It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. When Jesus says that, he could practically be referring to Ecclesiastes. He's saying, what does it profit to put all of your work, all of your energy, all of your soul into the tree and lose it all when that tree gets cut down? Because trees die and trees fall all the time. You put your trust in the Dallas Cowboys, then what?
Eagles come along.
The Eagles come along. But the thing is, for my entire life, the Eagles have been horrible. They've been embarrassing. They've never been the place to turn left. Now they are. Now they're the tree. Right? Interesting. Hopefully the Dallas Cowboys come back. Okay, when he says things like under the sun, everything under the sun, what he means is everything we can see. The material world. This The world that he refers to as under the sun is a world without spiritual concerns. It is this. It is oak trees, it is vapor, it is the Dallas Cowboys. Right? Moving on. Verse 4. Generations come and generations go, but the earth never changes. The sun rises and the sun sets, then hurries around to rise again. The wind blows south and then turns north. Around and around it goes, blowing in circles. Rivers run into the sea, but the sea's never full. Then the water returns again to the rivers and flows out again to the sea. Everything is wearisome beyond description. No matter how much we see, we're never satisfied. I said it last week, right? That's us. That's American society. That is our entire lives, summed up in a phrase. No matter how much we see or get or gain or hear or experience, it's never enough. We're never satisfied. No matter how much we hear, we are not content. History merely repeats itself. It's all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. Sometimes people say, here's something new. But actually, it's old. Nothing's ever truly new. We don't remember what happened in the past, and in future generations, no one will remember what we're doing now. Oh man, I can't even tell you how many books I have read in my life that have had that exact meaning. You could have paraphrased the entire book in verses 4 to 11. Movies are like that. Movies, songs, everything is just a, well, did you ever? Okay, here's the thing. Does anybody know who Counting Crows are? They put an album out that is an A+ album. It's called August and Everything After, and it's their first album, and it is one of the greatest albums ever. Their second album's horrible. Okay? And probably what you think is every second album's horrible. It's called The Sophomore Curse. Did you ever feel like that? It's never going to be the same. Marvel movies now. You walk in going, it's not going to be Avengers again. It's just less. It's just, we have that despair that makes us go, whatever. We went to that restaurant called Raising Cane's. There's a new one in Harrisburg. It's horrible. It's horrible. Excuse me. We stood in line the whole time, and I said to Angel as we were waiting there, "This is never going to be. That's Ecclesiastes. That is Ecclesiastes." And Sam right now will tell you it was horrible. It wasn't horrible. It was just disappointing. It's Ecclesiastes. He's shaking his head, going, "No, it was horrible." What he's saying is what Solomon is saying is that kind of blanket of despair sits over us, right? And then when you translate that to nature, this is the unchanging nature of life, and the cycles repeat. It's a monotony. These things come and these things go. How many times have you thought history repeats itself? Right? Those who don't know the past are doomed to repeat it, yet apparently nobody ever knows the past because we keep repeating it. Right? This is Ecclesiastes, and this is verses 4 to 11. This happens, then it happens again. Again, and again, and again, and again. You feel the weariness of Solomon here. What truth is he pointing to with this? And the theologian named Eaton says, for Old Testament orthodoxy, creation rings with the praises of the Lord. Creation is his. But, says the preacher, and this is what all of Ecclesiastes is going to come down to, take away God, take away its God, and creation no longer reflects his glory. It illustrates the weariness of mankind. That's the point. Take God out of the situation, and he's ripe. It's just a rut. It's just a loop that we keep living. Birth happens, death happens, suns rise, set, wind blows, seas come and go, whatever. But what could possibly be more beautiful than a sunset? Maybe a sunrise, right? Right? How about the sacred joy of a newborn? It is possible to say, people are born and then they die. What could be more sacred than either of those things? The mourning of a loved one's passing. The wind, the rain, the snow. You ever wake up in the morning and the snow just has this beautiful, untouched blanket, everything is quiet, and you think, this is life. This is amazing. How beautiful this is. I can't even take it. There's a scene in a movie called American Beauty. Anybody ever see that? It won an Oscar. It was great. Anyway, there's this scene, and it's of a paper bag, a plastic bag floating. And the guy's just crying, watching it with some woman. He feels like me, right? He just cries all the time. And he's looking at it and he goes, I can't think of anything more beautiful than that. That's what you see when you see the world with God in it. Right? You are overwhelmed with beauty constantly. Take God out, and it's just a bag. Right? And God's hands are in all of it. Without the sanctity of God, the great creator, it is a loop. It is a skipping record. It is a spinning wheel of time. I think we've been here for 10 years, right? I've never seen anybody walk right by here and somebody just did. There's somebody right outside. Right? Come on in. We're happy. We're happy. It's a spinning wheel of time without God. Yet, with Him, it is a crackling masterpiece of life, of awe, of wonder, of significance. It's the exact opposite of meaningless. Everything is significant. Everything matters. Without God, marriage is a social construct. It's a contract that has no deeper meaning than insurance, shared expenses, or just a, hey, let's see how it goes. Right? Let's try it and see, experiment. Right? But with God, it's inspiring. It's rock solid commitment. It's intimacy. It's partnership. It's unbreakable ties of selflessness, service, and agape love. That's what marriage is with God all through it. Take God out, it's a civil union. That's what it is. Right? This is part of it. Without God, our jobs are routine. They are every day. You wake up, you work, you go home. It is Groundhog Day. That's a reference to a great movie with Bill Murray. It's nothing but movies today. I don't know what's going on. It's Groundhog Day, but with God, it is an opportunity to consecrate our money, our energy, our time. It's an opportunity to be fair, to be kind, to be just, to hone our character, our integrity, to bring good into the community. That's what our jobs are, no matter what they are. That's why when God says, do your jobs as if you're working unto the Lord, that's what it is. Otherwise, it's just picking up the trash. Right? It's just running on a wheel. And it's meaningless. And that was nature. 4 to 11 was nature. Verse 8. Nope. I should have stopped after 7. Then everything is wearisome beyond description. No matter how much we see, we're never satisfied. No matter how much we hear, we're not content. Then he talks about what happened in the past and in future generations. right? Now he's talking about people. Now he's talking about human labor. Now he's talking about human effort. And it's the same idea. It's the same monotony. It's the same things on a wheel again and again. Without God, it's just the same old motions and ruts. But think about the words that we use often here at the bridge, right? New creation, new exodus, a new name, a new heart, a new day. Nothing is the same old. The only time something is the same old is if we have a complete lack of imagination. It's when we take God out and we lose our imaginations. Then it becomes the same old, same old. God's work explodes with 1,000 news every moment. If we only have eyes to see, which He gives us. Right? He's replaced our eyes with ones that see. The scales have fallen from our eyes. He replaces our heart of stone and replaces it with a heart of flesh. Says it in Ezekiel. I believe it. Right? Because I experienced it. Right? Now, speaking of marriage and eyes to see, excuse me, you probably all know this because you've probably read my book cover to cover. Right? The Pina Colada song. Are we all familiar with the Pina Colada song? Yeah. Okay. Pina Colada song it starts off, I was tired of my lady. I'm going to try not to sing it. I was tired of my lady. We've been together too long. Like a worn out recording of a favorite song. I don't know if you know the point of the song. So the point of the song is Rupert Holmes, who is a strange looking character if you go watch the video. Rupert Holmes puts a personal ad, because there used to be newspapers. Okay? He puts a personal ad out while he's with his tired old lady next to him. Puts an ad in the paper, and he likes pina coladas. If you like pina coladas, you're getting caught in the rain. Right? So, then it's answered by somebody else. So, he's going to run around on the tired old relationship that he has. Because this other person likes pina coladas and dancing in the rain. And getting caught in it. Okay? Then, he shows up at the bar O'Malley's. And guess what he finds? He finds his own lovely lady. Now he calls her lovely. Right? And he says, I never knew that you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. Right? Rupert is a joke. Right? He's a joke. He's sitting next to this person, and he thought that she's the same one that he met. He thinks that she didn't change, that she didn't grow. He's writing Ecclesiastes. He's seeing it as meaningless. It's just, he took all of the new out of it and thought, this is what it is. There's no significance. There's no joy here. It's just this. And he couldn't be more wrong. He thought she was the same old thing. He was blind. He couldn't see her, and he certainly couldn't see her through the lens of a God of new, of the God of new. He couldn't see through lenses of new beginnings, of new songs. He saw it as an Ecclesiastes filter, except he didn't know that Solomon was playing a character. He thought that's true. It's meaningless. We lost it. How many relationships end because you go, there's nothing new here anymore? You sit at dinner and you got nothing to say. Ask a question. Ask a question because we're all new. We're all new. We're all changing all the time. And thank goodness that we are. Right? This is a God of new beginnings. This is a God that's infused in every single thing. John 1 says logos. First, in the beginning was the Word. That means logos. Now, what that means is how that translates is like it's a bee's honey through everything. Picture a bee's hive that just has the honey running through everything. That's what God is. If you take that bee's honey out, it just crumbles. It's just fake. But put God in it. And that person that's sitting next to Rupert is full of life, full of newness, full of dreams that are changing all the time, thinking that they can change the world. And guess what? They're right. They're right. Rupert just stopped seeing. Now it's just like you read my whole book. Right? So, here's how we end. I'm done already. I'm done already. I could talk for another hour. But let me just say, we do have homework. Can you guess what it is? Yes. Yes. See. See. Open your eyes. Let's start opening our eyes and see it. Those relationships that we thought were over, that we thought were boring, that we thought didn't have anything for us, that we thought had lost its best days, that its best days were behind us. No. Let's see. Let's see what it was. Let's see what it is. Let's see the new thing. How about our jobs? When we go to our jobs tomorrow, when you wake up tomorrow, think, ooh, I wonder what it is, actually. Not the job that I thought I had. What is it? What if God is through all of this? What if God is in everything? There's this great story in this book that I just am reading. So, there's these monks. And these monks, people would come to visit the monks. Tanya, you're going to recognize this story. The monks, people are going to visit this monastery. And people stop coming because the monks all of a sudden are getting kind of, put out by the whole thing. It's just the same day. It's just the same day over and over. It's Groundhog Day, whatever. They see each other as who they were. They see each other as what it was, as just a responsibility. Something that they have to do. Right? Another thing they have to do, another thing they have to keep putting into, and getting nothing back. Nobody says thanks, and they're tired. So people stop coming. Right? Then, the guy that's in charge has this mentor, so he leaves and goes to the mentor, and he says, everything's a mess. And he goes, tell him the Messiah's there. He doesn't know what that means. And then he goes back and he tells all the guys, the Messiah's here. And everybody's looking at each other wondering who the Messiah is. And guess what? If it's Sam, how does it change the way that you treat Sam? But what if it's not Sam? What if it's Charlotte? What if it's Kathy? What if it's Patricia or Dean, right? I didn't leave you out on purpose. What if it's William? It's going to change how you see and treat every single thing in your life. So all of a sudden, these people start treating everybody differently. They start looking. They start building into people. They start seeing them as they could be the Messiah. And guess what? They kind of are, because we're all made in the image of God. Right? So then everything changes. People start coming back. What a metaphor for our lives, for our relationships, for our jobs. People have stopped coming to our relationships because they see death there. Because they see us wanting what we can get, what you can do for us. Or that it's just stale and old. Right? Who wants to go to that? Who wants to go to that? Then they start looking at it through the God prism, through the God lenses. And everything is different and everybody feels it. Everybody feels it. When you look at each other with love, with kindness, with respect, when you think the best of people guess what you'll find? Guess what you'll find? The best. The best. When you buy a new car, you buy the new car and you're like, nobody else has this car. It's so new and cool. And then you see everybody has this car. Because now you're looking. What if you're looking through new eyes at your job? What if you're looking to find new things in your spouse? What if you're looking to find things in your kids to hold up, to draw out? Oh man, we've had enough of you can't do it. We've had enough of you can't change anything. We've had enough of it's just the way that it is. What if it's not? What if it's not? And you know what I have found? Every word of this book says it's not. Says it's not. Says it's a new creation. Says the tomb is empty. And now it's all on the table. Rupert is wrong. Rupert's wrong. It's not just trees and vapor and same old. It's all brand new. It's all brand new if we have eyes to see and ears to hear. That's it. So that's the homework. That's the homework. Look at everybody differently. Look at everybody differently. When you see your mom today, look at her. Look at her. How about ask your mom what she'd like to do? How about look at your mom and see what her dreams are? If money wasn't a situation, what would you do? Well, I would do this. I didn't know that about you. Right? How many of us have the things that we don't know about each other? Let's find them out. That's the point. That's the point. That's the point of Ecclesiastes. That's the point of living. That's the point of the Bible. I told you I was done 5 minutes ago. I could all day. You see it, right? You see it. Amen.
Something's a little different today. I have a song before we do our song.
Better than I Heard a story from the Bible, and I was just a little girl, about a broken-hearted woman, met the Savior of the world. It was just understood, but not the preacher man who as I'm sitting here, drinking red wine on the moon, I think I know what it might be. Yes, tonight I feel just like wanting everywhere. Wondering how someone to love me, but I can't love myself. Yes, I am, and that sounds crazy. Because maybe that's why grace is so amazing. Staring at that empty arms, swear I caught a glimpse of you. Met me right there at the bar, when that wine's the living water, taught me how to love again. Tonight I feel just like wanting everywhere. Wondering how someone to love me, and I can't love myself. Yes, I am, and that sounds crazy. Maybe that's why grace is so amazing. It's no longer just a story when I read it, 'cause I've seen it for myself and I believe it. 'Cause tonight I feel just like wanting everywhere. Wondering how someone to love me, and I can't love myself. Yes, I am, and that sounds crazy. Maybe that's why grace is so amazing. Just like a story from the Bible, I heard when I was just a girl. I'm a broken-hearted woman, met the Savior of the world.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
What we do here
Is we'll gather around.